Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday morning. I am up bright and early so that I can share with you. I think we're going to finish this bag, if not get really, really close to it. So, this is our hanky challenge. This is what I started with. I had this gorgeous butterfly on a hanky, and I've cut him down, taught you how to put that, well, we learned together how to put that trim around there and get him settled down so that we can have him in the gorgeous front of our bag. We've put in the zipper as well. So if you are just catching up with us, those are in previous live videos. You can go back and watch. Today, I had planned to put a pocket in front here for my cell phone, but I'm really struggling with the fact that this looks just so darn good. And once I cut it down, I was like, I don't want to mess him up. And so I think I like just how he is hanging right out there in front and no pocket there. So we're going to put the pocket on the back. I also had wanted to play with prairie points with this project. And this fabric is just so gorgeous. And I can't find a fabric that complements it well. And so I'm feeling like it would be too busy. And it's sometimes you just have to stop with the simple and keep it simple. So we're going to go ahead and finish this thing today, I think. So that is the plan today, is to finish this up. And I'm kind of enjoying that it's nice and quiet in here and relaxing and rejuvenating because we had a very, very busy weekend. This weekend, we are coaches for two FTC teams. They are first tech challenge robotics teams, and those two teams decided that they were going to play so well that they were going to get to advance to state. And so we're very, very excited, but very, very exhausted around here this morning. And so it's like, I like that it's just nice and quiet, and I get to be a little bit relaxed and creative this morning before I get ready to go back to the big time of the rigmarole and stuff that goes on during the day. So I'm so glad you have joined us this morning. So let's get started. Okay, I had mentioned that this was starting to feel a little too busy for me. It's like if I were to put more to this, that it just was going to take away from what I was really wanting to focus on, which is my butterfly. And so we're going to finish it off. All I have done here is place a piece of fabric because, I had been wanting to do pockets and everything. All I've done here is place a piece of fabric inside here. And we're going to be done with this with a simple top stitch across the top. There's actually no reason to finish off, and I better put this with my camera here. There's no reason to finish this off because all I'm going to do is top stitch and we don't have to worry about anything. It's just going to get snugged right in there. No one will ever see a thing. And so that's how we're going to finish off the front. We're just going to be doing a nice top stitch right along there, and we'll be done with that. And so I want to make sure though that I keep everything in line here. So I'm going to go ahead and pin really well along this top. That way nothing gets scrunched up underneath and I don't have to worry about that. So that is the first thing we're going to do, is just pin this in place. And it is going to turn into a little bag. And so we're going to make a strap for it. And so in a previous video for another project, I had shown you the strap done. And I didn't get to show you how I made the strap. And so I'm going to show you how to make the strap today. So I'm just going to simply stick this over to the side. And then when I pull out the sewing machine, I can sew everything at the same time. And so I have my strap already cut. It is 2¼ inches. When we're doing projects like this, I kind of like this. I mean, it's a small purse. It's just going to hang. It's not going to have much in it, but my phone and my business cards. And so those are the two main pockets I want to have. I want to be able to easily get to my phone, and I want to easily be able to get to my business cards. And so I'm going to show you how to do that when I do the pockets. So the first thing we need to do with the strap is it is 2¼ inches wide. And I'm just doing a width of fabric for this one. And so I did a width of fabric, 2¼ inches. And now I am going to take that strap and I'm going to iron it in half. And I do my best to line up those edges as well. Look at that. As good as possible, because that's what's going to keep my project nice and symmetrical. my husband and I were talking this morning about how he wants to get back to his quilt, and how he wasn't sure if I could handle it. And because he's a very much a type A, analytical, has to have all his points in order. And I live with a lot of those people in this house. And so Will is definitely a points Nazi. So it's like, come on, guys. Quick, simple. I mean, yeah, points matter sometimes.
It's okay. That one is
Uh-huh.
paper piecing anyway. So
Oh, okay. See, all your points will match. Okay. Yeah. I feel like if you start with paper piecing, you love paper piecing more than you love piecing. If you start with piecing, you like piecing more. And I'm a piecer. He's starting with a paper piecing project. I have a real problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place. I am simply bringing in the raw edge to the fold, just like that. And it's a lot easier than it looks. I'm making it look really difficult right now. Maybe it is a little too early for me. And I'm just going to get that started by doing a little bit of a spritz there, or a little bit of an iron there. If you're having issues, I use my pins and my ironing board. So even if you don't have a wool mat, your pins, that's what your pins will fit perfectly in there. And so if I'm having problems, then I can do, and I teach this with my kids too, because they get so frustrated when it's not holding down. So you can do that and hold it down until you get ready to fold it over. And that helps you out a little bit. And then you can keep going here. And probably should have had this step done before I got in here, but I wanted to show you what I was doing. There we go. And so eventually it'll just start taking off on its own and you'll be able to just iron away. And you want to get those just in and ironed just as good as you can. And we may not do the strap and finish this today. All right, cool. So that's how you make your strap. Then you're going to stitch on each side of it with a nice top stitch so that you have that strap nice and solid. Let's see if I can do it a little bit quicker. It doesn't feel like it this morning. It feels like everything is slow this morning. Yeah, everything's too slow this morning. We're going to move on to something else. Yeah, so our older team this Saturday couldn't believe they just were bringing all those. They had been teamed with. The way it works is they're teamed with different teams throughout the competition, or paired with them, and then go against other pairs. And you could be competing against someone and then with someone in the next match. And so they were paired with teams that struggled just a bit to get their robots doing what they needed to do, and they were just carrying them right along. And then the younger team got paired really, really well, and so they got carried along right to state. So it'll be an interesting competition on the 24th of February when we go to Greensboro. And the older team actually came in second and overall, and the younger team came in eighth out of 24 teams. And only 4 advanced to state, but 11 had already advanced. And so they were already competing with 11 teams that were the best in the state. And so it's really exciting to know that they came in second place out of 11 teams that are already qualified. There we go. Now it's coming. I just had to start talking robotics. I'm just going to give it one last iron. I'm not going to worry about pinning this. As long as it's ironed well, I think I'm good. get you in there just a little bit more. And then we're going to work the pockets. And so I want to put pockets on the back of the pocket of the little purse so that I can put you over there so I can sew you in a minute. And then I want to be able to, on the back of the purse, have a pocket for my phone and a pocket for my index cards. My index cards not necessarily like need to have a full pocket. And so I'm trying to figure out, I think all I'm going to do is just let that be wasted space and that'll be fine. And so what I'm going to do is put a line that you won't be able to see, and hopefully I will. Oh, and let me show you how I made that. Okay, so this is the back of my purse. And all I did was fold another, that's the easiest way to make pockets, is to simply fold a piece of fabric in half. And then you have a perfectly lined pocket. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold that in half just like that. Give myself a nice, and I could even top stitch this. And so I might just do that before I go and stitch it down. And then I wanna find out where I'm gonna put my line. Let you cool so that you'll actually hold the line. I'm using a friction pen, so I wanna make sure it's gonna hold the line. So if I put my phone here, I want to give myself plenty of room, and then I am going to line up with my horizontal line here and then draw a vertical line. And so I'm about, across it's 8.5 inches. I am about 3.5 inches in, and I'm going to make this line. For me, it's more of an indentation. Just give me something I can see along the line, along the way, then I'm good. And then for my business cards, I also want to have a line that's going to stop them from going too far down. And so I'm going to go right there. All right, make sure I can see you. I can. All right. Now I can take my back piece and place my pocket piece right on top, just like that. But I think I do want to do a top stitch right here. So that's what we're going to get started with. And now it's time to bring out the sewing machine. Let's see. Let me bring you over here. Okay. All right. I'm using a black thread. You won't be able to see it, but you'll definitely see the texture of everything that I do. So first thing I want to do is just a little top stitch right across the top. To do that, I'm going to move my needle over as far as I possibly can. And then I know where on my machine I like to have that. Where's my pressure, my foot pedal? There you are. I need to move the camera, Laney says. I need to move the camera. A little bit better? That gives me my top stitch. Now I'm going to place this right on top of here. And I am going to start at the top of the pocket and go backwards and forwards if I can find the top of the pocket. There you are. Okay, good. And I'm going back to a center stitch so that I can just follow the center right on down, because this is really hard to see for me. I probably should have used chalk. Oop, off a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to go here and make my space for my business cards. Excellent. Okay. Oh, and then I have two other things I need to do. I need to get my top stitching done. So I'm going to move that needle over again and do my top stitching on both sides. It's nice it's black, you won't be able to see it. I'm off a little bit, so I keep adjusting. Yeah, you notice all these are Joyce's napkins, but I'm not quite sure. This might be the project I begged for her to let me keep. I like to do both sides just so that it has that symmetrical feel. It's not really needed, but oops, got stuck in there just because it's so tiny. Come on, give it to me. Yoo-hoo, give it to me. This is the one, like, I like that black bright fabric. And so that's the one that's like, just I have to have that fabric. So I got some thread stuck in there. I'm going to go ahead and take off my plate. So it just happens. You don't want to sew with that in there. And so it's okay to take your plate off and fix that so that you're not, see, right there. Just got caught a little bit. There we go. I keep my screws kind of loose just because of that. Yeah, you don't want to keep sewing if you've gotten thread all caught up in there, because then it's just going to make matters worse and you'll get more and more and more and more. So don't be afraid to take off your presser plate.
Though it seems like the first time you take off the presser plate on a machine is darn near impossible.
Right. So if you're having problems getting those screws undone, Lanny is completely right. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to take it off because the screws are so tight that it seems like the manufacturer did not want you to ever do that. And but it's so important to get in there and clean and that type of thing. So I'm taking it really slow now because I took it too fast. And now that I'm started, I can go. So I'm holding my hand so that this finger and is keeping everything in place. So it allows me to go pretty quick. My strap is definitely not perfect. I'm looking at it going, okay, some places are thicker and other, yeah, but you will not be able to see that when it's around your neck. So it's all good. Okay, so now that I have this part done and that part done, all I need to do is top stitch to get this part done. So I'm going to top stitch right across the edge. I'm going to top stitch on the black. Let me see if I can get this needle up. What are you doing? Oh, I tacked it instead of getting my needle up. I'm going to top stitch on the black instead of on the pink. I just think it'll look nicer. I really love how it looks right now. And so I am going to leave it at that. And I think I'm going to go back to I am constantly watching where the needle is and what position it's in. I do sometimes have a problem when I'm switching back and forth when I don't check. So be sure to check. I never run over pins. All right, so front is now done. And you can see that now it's completely finished looking. You'll never know. And then you have your back with its pockets. I mean, you can't tell that yet, but it will have pockets. And we have our strap. Okay, so now putting it all together. This is the front of my bag, and I'm gonna go ahead and open my zipper just a little bit, okay? And this is the back of my bag. I want to have a lining here, so I have my lining. I'm gonna place that lining down first. Actually, yes, I'm gonna place that lining down first, face up. Just like that, right? Am I doing this right? I gotta pull my notes out, sorry. I get to this point and I get confused. All right. Oh, hi, Rebecca.
That's probably why she rips the most is not checking her needle position.
Right? I gotta make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. Got my shoulder strap, ready to go. Okay, that's ready to go. I must be missing, there it is. Okay, place the back lining on the table with the right side down. Layer the back pocket assembly. Oh, this one, the padding comes in here somewhere. I gotta figure out where it comes in. It's with something. So I think it goes like that. Um, and then we put this on there, just like that, right sides together. Just like that. And then when we turn it inside out, is it gonna go the right way? Yeah. All right, cool. Now, getting my strap in. So my strap needs to go, okay. Let me make sure I get my straps. Okay. Team's tiny. I wanted it smaller than the last time I did it, but I might have made it too small. No, it's good. All right. place ends of strap 1 inch in from the raw edges. There we go. Oh, 1/2 inch in. There we go.
Show that.
Oh, sorry. So I'm going there's my one strap. And here's the other side. There we go. Is that on the front, the top? Hold on, I gotta look at my picture.
Where you pin them?
Straight sides together. So to go like that, yes. Okay, cool. And then open the zipper, turn the front and place it on. Close that just a little bit. Just like that. And so I can know where my strap is, I'm gonna bring it out. Come here. I'm gonna bring it out like that. And now I can place it all together. We good? We're good. Okay, now I pin away.
The strap doesn't need to go on the inside?
It is on the inside. It's gonna go, when it turns out inside out, it'll go like that. At least that's the plan. But thanks, Lanny. And Rebecca, fix it if I have messed it up. I'm still asleep, I think. We're taking tomorrow off. We decided, even though we meet Tuesday nights for robotics, maybe this week, not so much. The kids were not supposed to go to state. In fact, the older team is sort of like, are you serious? And it's like, well, you guys were really, really, really good. At one point, they were placed with the last, their alliance partner was one of the last, it was number 24 on the list of rankings. And they were in 5th at that point. And so at that point, they thought, this is it. We're going to mess this match up. And so they went into it with the sweetest attitude. Well, we're going to see just how high we can bring them up in the rankings. And they brought them all the way up to 18 after that match. And I just thought that was a sweet way to go. Like, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out. And so they were convinced at that point that, I mean, they had rankings like that all day long with their alliance partners, except for their very last match where they were teamed with the number 3 team. And so it was number 3 and number 5 against number 1 and 16, and they won that match. And that's what moved them up to 2nd place in the end. And so then they got picked for they actually were captains for an alliance team. I know that makes no sense to most people who are listening, but they were then alliance captains. And they chose a really good team as their second partners. And then the sweet kids chose their buddies, their FTC team here as their alliance partners. And so that, I think that's part of what got them to state, is that their little team, their big team brought them along with them. It does look like I'm pinning the mess out of this, and I am. And I am going to go all the way around because I am going to pull it through from here. All right. I'm going to start at, let's see, I'm going to start at the bottom. And by having these straps out like this, I can, I need to really pin where this zipper is. so that I can keep those teeth good and close. One, I can make sure that my zipper stays open so that I can turn it inside out if I pull my straps through. Two, I know where those straps are at all times. I'm not worried about whether or not I'm gonna stitch those straps in to the purse. All right, so I'm gonna start down here at the bottom. And I'm using a 3/8 of an inch seam. That way I know I'm catching everything. So I have moved my needle, if you're paying attention to how your needle position is positioned, I'm moving it back to its center point and using the edge of my presser foot to do my stitching. Whee. I heard that snicker. Okay, cool. Oop, I can go one more. So the reason why I put that little bit of I feel something in there. It's the little flap. I thought it was my strap. Made me a little nervous, but strap's here. We're good. The reason why I put that little bit of batting in there is just to give it a little bit of weight. Okay, I'm coming to my zipper teeth. When I come to my zipper teeth, I start doing it by hand. The zipper will move out of the way of the needle. If I run over it too fast, the zipper won't move out of the way and I will break a needle. And so I just go over it nice and slow, and those teeth will move out of the way for me. Looks like I have a little bit of stuff over it over here, and I'm gonna go where I know I'm gonna be able to get all that fabric in there. Okay, so I'm coming to that zipper again. I'm gonna hand wheel it so that I can feel that zipper and go over it nice and slow. I also use a plastic zipper instead of a metal zipper. If you're using a metal zipper, you even want to go slower. The metal zipper will move out of the way, but you want to make sure that you have plenty of leeway there and give your needle time to just move things out of the way as it goes down. I'm not anticipating the end of my rows at all today. Oop. Okay, now that I'm done at the end, I'm gonna go backwards and forwards just a little bit. And then the first thing I do before I turn it inside out is double check on the back side that I caught everything. And so you can see up here that I was really, really close. It caught it, but I was really close. So I could go back and stitch over it a little bit more. And I think actually in that corner, I do want to kind of just get in there a little bit more. And so I'm going to stitch it on this side. Remember, I told you there was a corner, actually, it was this side. And so that's why it's so important to like check on both sides before you start cutting your fabric, before you start. And I can see how it just sort of There we go. And then after I've checked everything, I can clip corners. So we're going to go through and clip everything right here. I do not have any paper scissors up here. I do not cut zippers with regular scissors. So I will wait to uncut, but I do want to turn this inside out so you can see it. So I'll just turn it back inside out and clip those zippers off. Just to make sure that I did everything right. Oh, okay. So I have one thing I'm going to fix. I'm going to fix this because you can still see my salvage. So I can go back and fix that. And then I'm going to cut off my zippers and my bag is done.
So the butterfly on the front ended up just being a flap?
Just ended up being a flap. I wanted it to be a, but it just is so cute all by itself that I couldn't do it. I couldn't mess with it anymore. I was like, no, it's so simple the way it is that you're right. It just ended up being a flap because I was scared that if I made the pocket too high, that it would just mess with it. And so the flap is the flap is the flap, and that's how it is. And then on the back side, let's see if my phone is going to fit. Perfect. And let's see if my business cards fit. All right. See, I'm just not quite sure that I can give this away. This is the problem with, okay, I can't, Lainey, you're going to have to come fix the camera. See, look at how, look how perfect that is. So I just don't know if I'm sorry, Joyce. You gave me these hankies, but I'm not quite sure I can give them back. So look at that. It's like perfect length. I have my phone right there, my business cards. We're going to a show in a few weeks. I just like this. I'm sorry. This is just Joyce. I don't know if I'm going to be able to give them back. Anyway, I'm so glad y'all joined me this morning. It's been wonderful trying to figure out what we're going to do. Now, next week, we're starting a notebook cover because notebook covers are my thing, and we're going to use numerous hankies in that one. So join us next Monday. The other thing that we're doing is I'm going to get those prairie points in one time. I'm going to get those prairie points in, but I don't know if it's going to be on the notebook. And we're going to do a little bit of hand stitching. So I'm looking forward to that. So we will start that project next Monday. If you've enjoyed this, please like, share, follow, subscribe, all that other stuff. And thank you for joining. Bye, Rebecca, and everyone else who joined. And we will see you guys next Monday for the hanky.